Long before the world knew her name, Fatima al-Fihri was a young woman with a spirit forged in one of North Africa's great intellectual centers. She was born around the year 800 in Kairouan, a city in modern-day Tunisia that pulsed with scholarship, faith, and trade. Her father, Muhammad al-Fihri, was a successful merchant, and from him Fatima and her sister Maryam inherited not only wealth but a profound respect for learning. In the bustling courtyards and fragrant markets of Kairouan, Fatima would have seen scholars debating philosophy, traders sharing stories from distant lands, and architects raising magnificent mosques to the sky. This environment was her first classroom, planting the seeds of a grand idea in her mind. The world of the 9th century was one of immense change and intellectual ferment, and Kairouan was at its heart. Fatima grew up surrounded by the hum of discovery, listening to tales of scientific breakthroughs in Baghdad and philosophical debates in Cordoba. They learned to read, to write, and to appreciate the intricate beauty of the Quran, as well as the complexities of commerce and governance. The currents of history are often driven by the movement of people, and the al-Fihri family was no exception. Sometime in the early 9th century, Muhammad al-Fihri made the momentous decision to move his family westward. They embarked on a long and arduous journey across the vast expanse of North Africa, across rugged mountains and sun-scorched plains, leaving the familiar comforts of Kairouan behind. Their destination was Fez, a burgeoning city in modern-day Morocco, founded just a few decades earlier by Idris II. Upon arriving in Fez, she and her family settled in the Andalusian quarter on the right bank of the Wadi Fez. This part of the city was a vibrant melting pot, filled with other émigrés, including families who had fled from Cordoba in Al-Andalus. The air was thick with different dialects, new customs, and a palpable sense of ambition. The Fez that greeted the al-Fihri family was a city under construction, a canvas upon which a new Moroccan identity was being painted. Muhammad al-Fihri, with his sharp business acumen, quickly established himself as a successful merchant once more, and the family's prosperity grew. Fatima and Maryam, now young women, absorbed the energy of their new home. While Kairouan had given her a foundation in tradition and scholarship, Fez presented her with a unique opportunity, the chance to build something from the ground up. The city was young, its institutions still forming. It was a place where a person of vision and means could make a truly lasting impact. Life, with its unpredictable turns, soon brought both tragedy and opportunity to Fatima's door. In the years that followed their move to Fez, she lost the people who had shaped her world. Her respected father, her beloved husband, her devoted brother, all passed away. Left behind were Fatima and her sister Maryam, now the inheritors of their family's considerable fortune. In an era when women's roles were often confined to the domestic sphere, the two sisters found themselves in a position of significant financial independence. They could have chosen a life of quiet comfort, living off their inheritance and enjoying the privileges it afforded. But Fatima's heart and mind were set on a far greater purpose. The wealth was not a means to an end for her. It was a sacred trust, a resource to be channeled into something meaningful and everlasting. Her deep faith taught her that charity and contributing to the community were among the highest callings. As she looked around her vibrant, growing city of Fez, she saw a pressing need. While there were smaller schools and circles of learning in the mosques, there was no central grand institution dedicated to higher education, a place that could serve the entire community and attract scholars from afar. Her dream began to take a clear, ambitious shape. She would use her entire inheritance to build a mosque and an associated educational institution for her community. She imagined a complex that would serve everyone, from the youngest child memorizing the Quran to the most advanced scholar debating law and astronomy. This was not a vanity project. It was an act of profound generosity, an investment in the future of her adopted city. To understand the magnitude of Fatima's project, one must first picture the city of Fez in the 9th century. It was a kaleidoscope of sights, sounds, and smells. Merchants in flowing robes haggling over spices from the east, Berber tribesmen from the Atlas Mountains selling handcrafted leather goods, and scholars with ink-stained fingers browsing stacks of parchment. The air would have been thick with the aroma of freshly baked bread, exotic perfumes, and the pungent scent of the tanneries for which Fez would become famous. Simple earthen homes stood alongside grand new residences of wealthy merchants, their inner courtyards hidden from public view. Rising above the rooftops were the minarets of newly constructed mosques, and intricate Zeliga tilework began to adorn walls and fountains. Libraries and centers of learning, though small, were the intellectual heart of the city. These were not just religious texts. They included works on medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy, often translations of Greek and Persian classics. Scholars would gather in small circles or halakas to debate points of law, recite poetry, and share new discoveries. The thirst for knowledge was palpable. It was in these nascent libraries and study groups that Fatima saw the potential for something much grander, a central repository of wisdom that could serve and unite these disparate intellectual efforts. This dynamic environment was the fertile ground in which Fatima's university would grow. Fatima al-Fihri was more than just a wealthy benefactor. She was the driving force, the visionary architect of her dream. She did not simply donate her money and step aside. Instead, she took on the role of project manager, personally overseeing every stage of the construction. She insisted that all the materials for the construction be sourced from the very land on which it was being built. Quarries were established on the site itself to excavate the stone and sand needed for the foundations and walls. She would inspect the quality of the timber and the precision of the stone carving, her keen eye missing nothing. Her presence at the construction site would have been a remarkable sight. To further cement her spiritual commitment to the project, Fatima made a vow to fast every day from the first day of construction until the very last. This act of personal sacrifice underscores the depth of her piety and the sacredness of her mission. She was a leader. She was an administrator. She was a visionary. Her hands-on approach ensured that the al-Qarawiyyin complex would be built not only with stone and mortar, but with intention, passion, and a profound sense of purpose. She was not just funding a university. She was breathing life into it, infusing the very foundations with her unwavering belief in the power of education and faith to transform the world. Her spirit became the cornerstone of the institution. The year 859 CE marked a pivotal moment in the history of education. After years of tireless effort, sacrifice, and meticulous oversight, the doors of the al-Qarawiyyin Mosque and its associated madrasa finally opened. What stood before the people of Fez was a magnificent complex, its elegant courtyard, spacious prayer hall, and dedicated library representing the culmination of a singular, powerful vision. The founding of al-Qarawiyyin was not just a local event, it was a milestone for civilization. It established what is now recognized by many, including UNESCO, as the world's oldest continuously operating, degree-granting university in the world. From its very first day, al-Qarawiyyin was a vibrant center of scholarly life. It was conceived as an institution for all, offering a wide range of subjects that went far beyond theology, the study of the Quran and Islamic jurisprudence, or fiqh, grammar, rhetoric, logic, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, history, and geography. There were no formal entrance requirements, no tuition fees, and no age restrictions. To earn a degree or ijazah, a student had to master a particular text or subject to the complete satisfaction of their teacher, who would then grant them permission to teach it to others. The institution she founded was immediately successful, becoming the preeminent spiritual and educational center of the Maghreb. The true success of al-Qarawiyyin was not measured in its beautiful architecture, but in the unstoppable flow of wisdom that it cultivated. Scribes worked tirelessly in sunlit rooms, painstakingly copying precious texts from across the known world. Baghdad, Damascus, Cordoba. These were works of art, with beautiful calligraphy and intricate illuminations. The collection grew to include thousands of priceless volumes. Among its treasures was a 9th century Quran written in elegant Kufic script on camel skin parchment, believed to have been part of the original collection. There were foundational texts on Maliki Islamic law, but also seminal works by Greek thinkers like Plato and Aristotle, and groundbreaking treatises on medicine by Ibn Sina, Avicenna, and on mathematics by al-Khwarizmi. The library was a bridge between civilizations, preserving the wisdom of the ancient world and nurturing the new discoveries of the Islamic Golden Age. Famous thinkers from across North Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe came to teach or study at al-Qarawiyyin. It is even said that the French scholar Gerbert of Aurillac studied at al-Qarawiyyin and was instrumental in introducing Arabic numerals to Europe. New manuscripts arrived with traveling scholars, and new ideas were debated in its courtyards, before being carried onward to other parts of the world. Fatima's initial gift had created a perpetual motion machine of learning. The most astonishing part of Fatima al-Fihri's story is not just what she built, vertical bar, but the fact that it still stands and functions today. Over 11 centuries have passed since she first laid the foundation stones. Vertical bar and the University of al-Qarawiyyin continues to serve as a place of worship and learning. The intricate tilework, the carved cedar wood, and the serene atmosphere connect the present day directly to the 9th century, to the very moment of its creation. The university's library, recently restored, continues to protect its ancient treasures, including Fatima's own diploma, a wooden board intricately carved with her degree from the university she herself founded. Al-Qarawiyyin formally became part of Morocco's state university system in 1963, and it continues to be a respected institution, offering programs in traditional Islamic sciences and modern fields of study. It is a living, breathing monument to its founder's vision, a testament to the enduring power of an idea rooted in faith, generosity, and a profound love for knowledge. Her story has become a powerful source of inspiration, particularly for women, in the Muslim world and beyond. She is a symbol of female leadership, intellect, and philanthropy. Her influence is a quiet but persistent thread woven into the fabric of modern education. The very concept of a university as a degree-granting institution with a diverse curriculum has its roots in places like al-Qarawiyyin. The story of Fatima al-Fihri is, in the end, a profound meditation on the power of a single, focused vision. It begins with one woman in one city, with one dream. It is a story that reminds us that the greatest and most enduring institutions often spring from the simplest and most noble of human impulses, the desire to create something good for one's community. What defines us is what we choose to do with them. Fatima transformed her inheritance and her sorrow into a gift for all humanity. In our modern world, Fatima's example offers a clear and powerful message. Education is the bedrock of progress. Generosity is the glue that holds society together. Her vision was not about personal glory or fame. It was about service, legacy, and the belief that knowledge is the most precious inheritance we can pass on to the next generation. Let it inspire us to be bolder in our dreams, more generous in our actions, and more committed to building a world where everyone has the opportunity to learn and to thrive. For the story of Fatima al-Fihri is the ultimate proof that one person, with one dream, can truly change the world forever.